Why do we suffer at the hands of these politicians? Don't you know politicians work for you? Hey! You're the boss. You hire them and you fire them. Look at their campaign. You know what they do? They audition. Yeah! When you put them on the job, if they're not doing the
Hello,
job...
Talk Labor fans. Here we are again, and hey, I'm so excited to talk to you today because we got some real good news for you. Especially coalition participants. And you know who you are. We're going to spend most of the show talking about that today. But before we do that, I just got only a couple of things that I want to say about this guy that's occupying the White House right now. I mean, you know what we got to do. We got to get out there and vote in November like you never voted before. And don't let nobody fool you. This is no game. This is what we got to do. Get out there and vote. If we have to stand in line 3 days in a row, that's what we're going to do. Okay? But what I want to do, let's do this. Let's set aside politics for a minute. Just, let's forget about the fact that we have Republican and we have Democrat. Let's just set aside that fact. But I want you to think about what has gone on with the Republicans in charge right now. Look at what's happened since this guy took office. We got wildfires all over the West. We got racial unrest all over the country. All this is done because of him. Criminals in the White House. Bunch of them put in jail. Just think about it now. Forget Republican, forget Democrat. People put in jail that's in the White House. And not only will we see that in America, but countries all over the world see that. A lot of them are laughing because this is what they wanted to see anyway. A lot of them are afraid because we were allies with them. And some of them just analyze the fact that this guy's a damn nut. They know it and we know it. And ain't nothing else you can do. But you know what? Put all that aside now. And we blame Trump, right? Because he do all that old crazy stuff. But you know who the culprits are? The United States Senate. You see, the Constitution is, the people that wrote the Constitution, they had a remedy in there for a runaway, nutty-ass fool like Trump. And that is the Senate and the House. The House would bring him up on impeachment. Senate, if he did the criminal stuff, they kick him out of office. But these bastards not only didn't kick him out of office, they put him on a pedestal. They turn around and try to make it, like it's everybody else's fault but his. And they got caught up in this damn Kool-Aid that this boy is spreading out there. Y'all remember Jim Jones? I think his name was Jim Jones. They gave all them people the Kool-Aid and told them, hey, kill yourself because you want to be with me. Isn't that the same thing this fool doing? We got the coronavirus. He got it. He's saying, hey, kiss me and hug me, because you want to be with me. When I die, you want to go with me. That's basically what he's saying. I said I was going to use but a moment or two, but when I get started on that stuff, hey, I can't help myself, okay? But, one of the things I want you to do, I want you to take a look at it. They talked about the riots and people doing all this. Now, when we had the protest marchers out there, 97% of the protesters never did anything to break the law. About 3% did. They were led by Trump and his ones he called Boogaloo, but I call them knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. They were led by them. They'll go out and bust the windows out and give people rocks and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you something later on on this show where the young men and women are in Chicago, and probably the same way around the world, is getting murdered. And I'm gonna show you how and why. There's an easy answer. It's how and why. We're gonna show you that later on in the show. Okay? But I'll tell you what we're gonna do right now. I'm going to do this. I want to talk about the looting that they claim that the protesters were doing, which they were not doing. I want to talk about that. But before I do that, I want you to see the clip. And they look at, black people, they're out there looting. I want you to look and see what was happening with white people and the fires over there in California. So we'll take a look at this, and we'll be right back.
One of the darkest periods we've been in with this fire.
But the massive blaze isn't the only thing threatening the livelihood of Californians. This surveillance video showing an apparent looting in progress in Santa Cruz.
Today alone, we arrested 5 people. 5 people with 2 carloads full of stolen property.
Okay, you see what I mean? They were running out of there with stuff like crazy, but you don't see that. And you saw just a little bit on TV. But it make it look like we're monsters and, with all the stuff that's going on. I ain't got to tell y'all about that just because you know that. I talked to you about that back in 2012 and 2013, 2014. Told you when you see it on cameras, you're going to see what we're talking about and you'll believe us. Okay? Don't forget now, you coalition people, you stay tuned because I got a lot of stuff for you. But right now, the Supreme Court, they're pushing through this individual to be Supreme Court justice for the rest of her life. We all know about her and what she does and what she's done and how she feels about Roe versus Wade and how she feels about the Affordable Care Act. You got 120-some million people on the Affordable Care, and she wants to, not just her, the clowns want to get rid of it. And I was asked by a person, a young lady, so, Jerry, why would they want to get rid of that? I mean, this is just for the people. See, it's not that simple, that they just hate the people, which they do. But the insurance companies losing billions of dollars by not charging you because they can't get you for pre-existing conditions. That's where they was killing us at. Barack Obama came in and knocked all that out. So it took a lot of money away from them. Barack Obama also came in and knocked out, he said, and you can get my numbers together, go look it up yourself, it should be pretty close. He said that 82% of every dollar you spend that you pay for health care have to go toward your health care and not in the pockets of these rich people. That's the kind of stuff that they couldn't stand. So this is why they want to overturn that. It ain't just because we don't believe in it and we hate that nigger. It's not that. We're making too much money. So they want to overturn that. That's what time of day that is. They use the abortion situation to get people emotionally charged to come out and vote for them. This is why they holler, we're going to get rid of abortion. Now, here are people saying that I want to get rid of the abortion because everybody has a right to life, and abortions are just horrible. But check this out yourself. The medication that they fed Donald Trump while he was supposed to be under the virus, where did it come from? It came from the fetuses of an aborted child. So if he so loved that, why would he be taking that kind of stuff and then telling you that we're going to get everybody some? Not unless you abort a whole lot of people. So, but that's the kind of garbage that they be putting in front of you. Okay? And I'm going to say one more thing because I got a special guest today. I want you all to meet. I'm going to say one more thing. Voting, when it comes to voting, you got to know who you're voting for. Michael Toomey on the Supreme Court. Vote that clown down, especially you coalition people, because he was one of the people that voted against us on the Supreme Court. Vote him down. And he's out there talking about policemen are his friend. And it's okay to be friendly with policemen. I'm friendly with policemen. But you know what time of the day that signal is that he's giving. Vote him down. Now, he's a Democrat. He's normally a Democrat-supported judge. But the Democrats refused to endorse him this time, and I'll tell you why. When Kim Foxx decided not to charge Jussie Smollett, he went out of his way. He had no business getting involved with this. He went out of his way to make sure that he'd come after Kim, to attack her, to try to come after Jussie Smollett. He didn't have nothing to do with that. He was on the Supreme Court. But he came out. That's the kind of stuff. See, we got to own things for ourselves. We can't let these people, just run over us, okay? Look, I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to have a guest with me that I think you're going to like. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
It's amazing how people can come together by spending time apart. Quest Diagnostics thanks you for doing your part to stop the spread of the coronavirus through social distancing and proper hygiene. At Quest, we're doing our part by establishing COVID-19 lab testing capabilities across the country to better serve our communities and healthcare providers. If you suspect you had COVID-19, talk to a healthcare provider. And let's keep doing our part so we can all come back together stronger than ever.
Okay, we're back, and you all see what I mean about that, right? Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one of the greatest, I think, Supreme Court justices in my lifetime, I know. And they're trying to replace her with this lady. And I got a guest that I want to ask her questions about that, and I want to talk to him about some very important stuff. Young man always did a lot of research for me. I've been knowing him a long time. Yeah, I want you to meet a real good friend of mine, Brother Ronald Roach. Ronnie.
Hey, Jerry.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. Glad you could come down.
Always a pleasure.
Hey, man, what's going on in the world?
Just trying to get by, man. Just trying to get by.
Now, you know this tragic thing that happened with Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes.
Yeah, she passed away, and they're just trying to put this lady in her spot that's totally opposite of what. Yes. And they're you're talking about an unbalanced judicial system.
63.
6-3, and the Republicans, we ain't gonna talk long about it because it's a waste of time, waste of our money. But we know they got the votes to do it. But the Democrats have other options, and I'm glad to hear them say that Chuck Schumer from New York, that everything's on the table once the election's over. Joe Biden gets in office, there's a lot of things they can do to offset that.
Right.
Like stacking the court. Like one of the things I like to see them do is make Washington, D.C. a state. That way they pick up 2 more senators. So, what do you think about that?
I think that's a good move. Excellent move.
Yeah.
Because what the Republicans are saying, what they're doing is right. And they're anticipating that what the Democrats are going to do is wrong.
Right. And it's like when you're playing ball, you're playing sports. We're going to run the 100-yard dash. Now, you start right here to 0, but we're going to start at the 50-yard line.
At the 50.
And this is where it goes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, y'all go back and look at some of those old Westerns. They tell you everything. But let's talk about the Illinois Supreme Court in the voting. We're talking about voting now. And I encourage everybody to take a look at the judges when you vote too.
Right.
Okay? We got a judge, I was just talking about him. He voted against us
yes, he did.
at the Supreme Court, even though we won it.
Right.
We had enough judges to vote in our favor. He did vote against us, but he voted against the active people.
Yes, he did.
He took money away from the active people. He allowed the bill that was passed in Springfield to go ahead and be enforced on the active people, only on the Chicago Transit Authority.
Yes, they did.
Everybody else that had the same identical situation, he ruled totally in favor of them.
Yes, he did.
Now with us, he split it. On the actors, we had Matthews filing case for the actors, and I filed a case for the retirees.
Right.
We won ours,
right.
Retiree. On the Matthews case, they dismissed it. Now, on every other case like that, in this state, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of it. Now, 2 justices, felt the same way you and I do.
Yes, they did.
Now, I couldn't fight for the actors.
No.
So, but I did fight for the retirees, and we look in pretty good shape. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, okay? But what I'm trying to get out of people, I don't have to get it out of you because you do it all the time. You know what time of the day it is. Yeah. But I'm trying to get out of people. Tell me what Why? What reason would you be voting for a individual like a Donald Trump? Most black people not doing it. They're not voting for him. But tell me what white people get out of voting for Donald Trump. Now, this is for the audience now. Brother Roach and I went to renew our,
Right.
for cards, our conceal and carry cards, because you got to be protected.
Right.
And you got into a conversation with one of the guys, young white guy. You was asking him some questions about. You said, if I'm telling you, jog your memory. You said, look, I ain't rich and you ain't rich. Now, what do you think he thinks about? Run that by me, because I want you on the show.
I asked the young man.
Me up.
I says, we were talking, and I says, and he was talking. He didn't understand the looting and all the marching and things. I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, you white and poor, I'm black and poor. What's the difference? He said, nothing. Okay then. So why is there a problem? You you're gonna vote for somebody. He don't like you either. And that's the sad thing. Right. He only likes people with money. So how can you justify voting for somebody that don't like you? And he just sit there and look. He said, "You right," and dropped his head.
Sure did. I was there. I'm like, man, I better load up because the Roach finna start some up in here, man.
We was protected.
We was protected.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Okay, but anyway, I'm saying that to say they don't even know. And look, here's a clip right here to show you that they don't know. Take a look at this clip right here. They don't know why they voting for him.
What is something that you believe the president has done well?
I'm not really sure. I just support him.
You see what I'm saying? That little guy didn't have a clue as to what the hell, why he was supporting this clown. but he was out there supporting him because mommy and daddy said it. We gotta be smart on everything we do. Like, there's a lot of things going on, so make sure you vote. I don't normally say this, but vote blue all the way down the line.
That's right.
That way you're safe. You take a look at some of the things that Democrats have done for the working man and woman. I want you to take a look at, just look at this, okay? So many things that they've done, like 8-hour work days. You get 2 days off. All this was done by Democrats. Your Social Security, that was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The Voting Rights Act, Lyndon Johnson. Affordable Care, that was Barack Obama. I mean, you just go back. Further you go back, the more you're gonna see that Democrats actually are always looking out for the working man and woman. Even right now, under this pandemic, Democrats had a bill on the floor months ago, at least 8 weeks ago, probably longer than that, to try to bail us out and do the things we need to do to get this country under some kind of normalcy. They turn around, they won't even talk to you. And how in the hell can you be following up behind people like that? And this is our tax dollars. It's not coming out of their pockets. We paid them. That's our tax dollars. Roach, what do you think about that, brother?
Some things you can rationalize and understand. But when you totally trying to hurt your own people, the Democrats had a proposal that they would give each person $2,000 a month until this pandemic is over, at least until March or April of next year. And he said, we ain't discussing it no more until I get back in office. Mm-hmm. If you put me back in office, I'll vote, I'll pass it. Yeah. But if you don't, I'm not going to pass it.
Wow. Well, he's not going to pass it either way because he's not going to go back in office.
Right.
And we'll get it passed, though. We will get it passed, But one other thing about the election coming up, the Fair Tax Act. Fair Tax Act is for the working man and woman. Now, they'll try to get you to believe that, oh, it's something that's going to make them raise taxes on you. And it's made, you're going to do A, B, C, and D. He said that if they get the fair tax in, they can raise taxes anytime. They can raise taxes anytime now. They can do all that stuff they're talking about now. They're lying. Fair tax means that if they raise taxes on me, they go by the percentage and not flat tax. In other words, if you are a multimillionaire, you're going to pay more than me. Now, right, the way they got it now in Illinois, and we're only 7 states in the United States got this damn flat tax. The way they got it, Roach, is if they raise taxes, you a millionaire, and I'm just a poor little old $15 an hour worker.
Right.
When they raise taxes, they're going to raise it $1. I got to pay $1, and you only got to pay $1, even though you're a filthy millionaire.
Right.
That's the way it is right now. They only have to pay $1. Now, the way Pritzker turned it around, he says, no, if we raise taxes, we'll raise it 10% on you, Mr. Worker, which means you'll pay a dime, and we're going to raise it 10% on the rich guy, which he's going to be a hell of a lot more than you.
Right.
That's what the tax is. Nothing else changes. Everything is still the same. Nothing else changes.
But one other thing, Jared, if you make over $400,000 a year, do they raise taxes on you?
No, they're going to raise taxes. But if you make over $400,000 a year, if you make up to $400,000 a year, they will raise taxes on you, yes. But they would be paying a percentage.
Right, okay, right.
But
it won't be like it is now.
Right now, yeah, you're right about that. Up to $400,000. Right now, they're not going to raise taxes on you. They'll raise taxes on people making $401,000 a year. And that'll start, immediately. This is why they're fighting it so. And, so I'm saying to everybody, and I hope they understand what I'm talking about. Go in and read it yourself. It's called a Fair Act tax. And it really is much fairer. And you look it up for yourself, only 7 states in the United States have that flat tax. And we're one of them. We're one of them. You know what I want to show? I want to get to something, and we want to talk about that coalition situation and where we are with that lawsuit.
Right. Because
it's really fast approaching us.
Right.
Finna come to a head. But I want to talk about guns for a minute. Not just in Chicago, but guns all over the place. I saw a guy, Ku Klux Klan guy, say that, hey, we do that. We bring guns to the black neighborhood and drugs, and we just give it to them.
Right.
Guy asked him, you don't sell it? No, we just give it to them. Let them kill themselves. What do you think about that?
That's form of genocide, really.
Yeah.
And we don't see past that.
We are out here blaming the mayor. We blaming those sorry ass police. Go and look up the police. I say it again. Go look up and see how many times police have actually brought a case and found evidence to actually arrest somebody for some of the murders. They haven't. They just let it roll. They haven't done it. They haven't done anything. The Chicago Tribune said that they get 5 out of 100. 5 out of 100 cases that they saw. That's where they average.
Out of 500 murders, out of 100 murders,
they get 5.
They only get 5.
Right. So 20 murders happen, they get 1. Look it up. There's not some stuff I'm making up. Look it up. That's what I'm not understanding about these guys. I want to talk about these guns though, because I found out some years ago that they were not only some Ku Klux Klan guy coming in, but police. Some of the state police show where they brought a train in here.
Yes, they did.
Loaded down with all kinds of guns. wasn't supposed to stop in Chicago. For some reason, it stopped in Chicago. And as soon as it stopped, gangbangers knew exactly what was going on. They came out there, got guns, and they had cameras on them.
Yes,
and I want you to look at this clip because they had cameras on them. Taking, the sheriff, when they busted them, showing all the guns that were shipped into Chicago. And y'all want to know what's going on with your babies out there? If you give a damn 14-year-old fool an AK-47 or a Glock or some shit, they gonna murder. What you think?
That's right.
What do you think about that?
Yes,
They gonna murder, man. I mean, this is not rocket scientist, right? Rocket science. It's just ordinary common sense. If you give them guns, and especially if you feed them drugs and stuff, it's gonna happen. You tell them to go down there and shoot Jimmy because Jimmy's stealing your money. Not that I'm excusing these clowns, but, come on, man. So what do you think about that, bro? Roaches?
They tell a kid, a 14 or 15-year-old kid, you go out there and shoot, like you said, shoot Jimmy. They can't give you no time because you're a minor.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they really think, like this TV, this is the movies. Once you dead, you dead. You don't get up after the TV go off.
You don't come back.
Ain't no coming back.
You don't come back. So, we got to get together, folks, and in the neighborhood, mom and dad, you know where your kids are. You know who your kids are. If they bringing home a whole bunch of money and stuff, you got to know what's going on. Keep them in check. Mothers and fathers who are trying to send their kids to school and do all the right stuff, do y'all think it's right for that to happen? The police that are really police, you want to work with them.
Right.
Yeah, but police that are dirty dogs that try to murder people, you don't need to work with them. So find out who they are. Talk to the commander. Tell them to put people in the neighborhood that look just like you, that you can relate to. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to do that. Look, we're gonna take another break and we're gonna come right back.
When you don't vote, what you're really doing is letting somebody else take power over your own life. You wouldn't give your grandmother the power to decide what clothes you wear to the club. You wouldn't give your crazy uncle the power to post a picture to your Instagram feed. So why would you give a stranger the power to make far more important decisions in your life? Voting is the only way to ensure that your concerns matter, period.
Okay, we're back. And I want to talk to my buddy. The reason I got him on here today is because of what's going on as far as the CTA Pensioner Coalition is concerned. We talk to people, and you should be familiar with it. And we're going to shoot the telephone numbers back up there again for you to reach out to the persons. And if you haven't joined. Now, Ronnie, just about a week or so ago, I got a letter from the attorney, our attorney. He says that, hey, Jerry, everything is moving really swiftly now, and I'm sending out letters to all of the retirees, 6,000 plus, and let them know that they are covered under this lawsuit that you file, and what's going on, and how they should carry themselves, meaning that if you get the letter and you decide, hey, I don't want to be under that suit, all you got to do is send a letter back to the attorneys and tell them that you don't want to be under the suit. That's right. If you want to be under the suit, all you have to do is just sit there and wait because it's coming. All right? If you don't respond back that you don't want it, then you will get whatever you got coming to you. And we're going to try to explain to you a little bit what this lawsuit is all about. That suit was filed back in 2009, right? 2000.
Yeah, it's been 11 years.
11 years, 2009. Okay, and what happened was that they passed a law in Springfield that said that they wanted to make retirees pay for their health care. Our health care was negotiated, and that was the last contract that was negotiated, and it was negotiated by me But before me, it was negotiated that we always did this every year, that, retirees would get X amount of dollars. Matter of fact, I gave retirees the first real big raise that they've ever had.
That's right.
And
the only raise.
Yeah.
First big one, the only raise.
Yeah. And how you want to explain how that happened, Ronnie?
Well, you under the how do you say
state constitution?
Yeah, state constitution. You got a law passed that, and when they say you wouldn't get it, but you got the multiplier raised from 1.85 to 2.15 and 70%.
Right.
That had never been done, and that was told that it wouldn't happen.
Went from 62.5%.
From 62.5% to 70%.
Right.
And so I figured it out. That comes to about $550 more a month on your pension check.
Now, to bag of what you're saying, and if you know how to figure your retirement, you can do it. Take the 1.85 and the 62% that you had before, and figure your retirement out, and then go back and go to the 2.15 that I got you, and the 70%, and figure your retirement out, and see how much difference it is. You never had that before.
Never.
Got it for you. Made sure that it stayed and it stuck.
I'd like to say something on that. Because of what you did, that means most of us could retire before 65.
Right.
And us that did don't have to go out and get a part-time job after we retired.
Right.
Because of what you did. Getting that multiplier raise, 2.15 and 70%. Like you talking almost $7,000 more a year on your pension check because of what you did that had never been done before.
And I'll tell you another thing that was on that table at that time. Because I had went down in Springfield, I worked with George Ryan, who was the governor at that time, and I was on the Illinois State, Illinois First. That was the bill that where you raise money to pay your bills. And I got Ryan to put me on there, and I got on the transportation committee.
Right, remember.
You remember that? And I told then our president, Valerie Jarrett, I would bring money back because they had told us they were broke. And I said, well, if you're broke, let us go. I was president of the union. Let us look at your books. They opened up the books and let us see them, and they were broke. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to work with the governor and see what we can do. Anyway, I went down there and worked with the governor. Came back. I was on the transportation committee. We came up with $12.1 billion for the state of Illinois.
Right.
I was on the transportation committee. We carved out $4.1 billion for the transportation
right
out of there.
Right.
$2.1 billion we carved out for the Chicago Transit Authority. Right? Now, this just to let you know that we don't have to kill each other. If you show me that you're broke, we're going to go down there and work with you to get, and we did that. Now, during the contract negotiations, we put on the table all the things we had. Raise, we got a great raise. Really moved the pension up. Then I said, look, we should have a cost of living on our pension like everybody else. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
It was put on the table.
Yes, it was.
I negotiated with the CTA, and guess what? They said okay.
I remember.
They had okayed it. But
I know.
I'm not serving anybody up. I just got to tell the truth. But the other local that I was negotiating with screamed and hollered and said the people don't need that. There's no way we're going to do that. This is the union did that. I said, well, wait a minute. They agree. We agree. But this is our money we putting up. Why? And everybody else has it. Teachers, fire department, everybody else have cost of living. Why can't we have it? Well, the pension won't stand that, which was a lie. Anyway, make a long story short, I ended up getting my, the 2.15, and I ended up getting the 70%, which gave people, somewhere close to what they should have had,
right?
As transit workers. Now, then the CTA, after I left, they turned around and went to Springfield along with the union. And I got to tell you the truth, it was the union. Went along with the union down in Springfield and passed a bill that was detrimental to your pension plan. They took away your control of the pension. You had 5 from labor, 5 from the company. You had to have 3 and 3 in order to move anything. They took it away from them. They said, well, we're going to give you 5, but we're going to add another person just in case we have a impasse. We had impasse before. We had dealt with that. We went from $800 million when I came on to $2 billion. So that was a lie.
2.4.
2.4. They took away the union's strength by adding that extra person. Now, the extra person they added, who was supposed to be impartial, the extra person that they added, who was supposed to be impartial, was from the RTA.
Right.
And, that just, I don't know, a union over at RTA. So every time they rule at the pension board, this guy rules with the CTA.
Yeah.
So the union don't have any more power.
No.
They took the power. Tried to tell them don't do that, but they did it. Also, you had people go down to Springfield from the union and was leading the charge to take the monies away from the retirees and taking money away from the active people who now pay a health care, what's it called, that health care that they pay 3% or something like a 15%, that health care trust, whatever.
The health care trust.
Yeah, that they pay. And they allowed that to happen. Then, and the reason I'm telling you this is because, like I said, the attorneys just sent a letter out for everybody, letting them know that you got, the case is really getting close. And every one of you guys are covered. Just the other day, I understand that there was a former president out there among some of the active people and some of the retirees telling, oh, you never get the money. Now you're starting to get your letter. I had a tremendous amount of calls. Thank Jerry. We believe you. We never doubted you anyway. That's cool. All right. But they're saying that, hey, they're getting their letters, and they're very happy with that. And we are just about to wrap this thing up. But, Ronnie, remember when we went to court at the federal court?
Yes, I do.
Way back here, and we lost the first, attempt. And before you got back to 95th Street on the rail side, what happened? Tell me about that.
We left court, and by the time I got to 95th, one of the board members was out there telling everybody we got the lawsuit thrown out.
Okay, listen, we're going to wrap it up, Ronnie, so we're glad to see my buddy Ronnie Roach. And,
Good to be here.
Hey, listen, we're going to go old school again. But listen, y'all be safe out there, take care of yourselves, and hey, talk labor. Shoot it everywhere.
All right.
Yeah, now you want